Hello, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, my name is Barbara and I'm an illustrator from France. And today I wanted to talk about my Swatchbook. The name says it all. It's simply a book where there's a swatch of all my art supplies. Let's start with the outside, kinda. So this sticker is from an artist, a French artist, named Cloud Crow. She makes like witchy, very dark kind of stickers. These covers there were from, I'm sorry if this noise is bothering you, I will keep it in my hands to avoid this. These covers were from an old agenda. These rings are from me and my big ideas, and it's originally made for happy planners and it used the arc system. So I already had everything that you see inside. I had it at home. I did with what I had. If instead of this kind of thing you have, I don't know, an old binder, or if you don't have it, just buying actually an A5 binder, it's not, or B6 depending on where you live, it's not that expensive and you can do something that is very similar to this. I've used also the dividers that were in my old agendas. So you see this was June. I kept 4. I basically have one section with watercolors and in any form, so also watercolor pencils. Then I have a section with wet media but less wet, so gouache and acrylic colors. I then have a section with layout paper, so for alcohol markers, and then I have a section with black paper. So I'm going to make a very quick tour and explain you everything that I've used to make what. So as I told you, the dividers, they are plasticky and they were from an older agenda, but you can easily make some by yourself. Also, this system I really like because it's easy, you know, to take off stuff and put them back. You can purchase rings individually. These are the very big one and they're in metal, so they're a bit more expensive, but you can find some plastic ones and even smaller ones, different colors. I really like these colors, that's why I picked them. And for the separation, you can basically pick anything you want. This sticker is from Michelle Coffey, if I remember her name correctly, and it's holographic too. Then for the paper, we'll start with the watercolor. I've used some, how is it? It's a XL watercolor paper, 300 GSM, you know, it's the very basic, cheap watercolor paper that I think everyone has or already had. It's a paper that I like, that I think is really nice. I originally had my big palette swatch there. Since then I've changed my palette, so this is the new colors, but I still keep it because all the colors are there, so I don't need to swatch them again. For the paper, so I told you, and for the liner I basically picked water resistant liner. I guess it was Micron or maybe Faber-Castell. So you swatch everything, you measure how you want it to be, and I've always put a black line just to see if the medium is, if the color, the pigment is transparent or not. So this was my original palette. Then we have the Mose Art palette plus some shiny from a shop called Action that you have in Europe. So this palette is really nice, really cheap also, and I think it's just perfect if you start and that you don't have a big budget. You can find, I had found it on Amazon and it was like 20 euros or something. and the colors are really bright and really nice, as you can see. There were also neon ones. These neon red, I mean, look at this. It slaps your face. As well as some metallics, and this one at the bottom was from another palette. Then we have the watercolors that I've made myself. Some palettes from Art Philosophy, so I've put them by palette, which I think looks really nice. I think it looks very satisfying. So we have Pastel Dream, Vintage Pastel, and Complexion, and I had made this in case I would buy a new one, which I think should not happen, but we never know because their palette, their color choices are really nice. Then we have this one that I can actually take off, which is also why this system is really nice compared to if you have like a bounded sketchbook, you know, where you make swatches. I'm actually going to take this off because I don't have any of these metallic watercolor anymore. This is Random Brands 1. So I have brands from Etsy, from Van Gogh. I also have Schminke, Daniel Smith, pretty colors like handmade colors from French shop and other European shops. I swatch everything when I receive them. Then we have inks. So I don't have a lot of inks, I only have 5. Then we have my Neo Color 2 from Carandache that I've swatched directly and then diluted to see if you could still see the crayon texture, how it looked when with water, etc. Then we have the Gold Faber Aqua by Faber-Castell that are watercolor pencils. I have 2 watercolor pencils still by Faber-Castell, but another range. It's called Albrecht Dürer. And I only have 2 colors, but I really liked how they worked with water. So maybe one day I will pick a few other colors. That's why I left this big blank space. And then I have blank sheets if I want to add new stuff. Then on this side, it's not watercolor paper anymore, it's mixed media paper. I have all my Le Franc Bourgeois gouaches, it's the extra fine ones. And for gouache, I've made 2 lines, especially on this one, maybe not on all of them, just to see the opacity, you know, when it's a bit diluted and when it's straight from the tube. Then we have the Arteza 60-pack gouache. I absolutely recommend this. It's amazing. I didn't put 2 lines because I had a lot of color to swatch. That's how the color look like. I highly recommend this. Then we have the Mia 56 wash pack, and that's all the colors that are in again. I really like the colors. I kind of regret taking the very big one because I feel like there's lots of colors that are very extremely similar, and also because it's so huge and so heavy. Obviously the quality, if you've ever tried high quality gouache, you'll see the difference clearly. But once again, if you start and if you want something fun, these are really nice. Then we have my acrylic gouache from Turner. This time I decided to, because I tried many things, to put some black paper to glue it and to paint directly over it because I don't use acrylic gouache diluted. So there I can see how opaque or not they are. For the Turner one, I think they are just amazing. Some needed a second coat, like I think for the permanent yellow, if I remember correctly. But look at the white, look at the pastel colors, they are amazing. Then we have my acrylic gouache from my acrylic gouache, and there's an E missing, from Holbein. From Holbein. Once again, I put a black stripe. I really like their color range. I think it's really nice. I think they're really nice, very pigmented and very nice to use. Then we have my acrylic. This was a big pack from PBO. called High Viscosity Studio, and it's matte. Well, you see some shine, but it's because they're metallic, but they're supposed to be matte acrylic paint. The only thing is, as you can see, they're really not opaque. Even for some that were said to be opaque, for me, you need at least like, I don't know, like for this pinky purple or this red, you would need at least like, I don't know, 6 coats for it to be opaque. So I will know when using them that if I want, I won't be able to have this color except if I put white under or something like that. And we have a cat because she's always coming. My little glue stick. Let's keep going. I think you can still see it, yes. These are some acrylic paint from Sustrene Green. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I like the acrylics. I had made some art with it and I was really happy with how they looked like. Then we have a set that I had bought on sale, so I took them to try them, and these are from Sennelier Abstract Acrylic. Once again, not impressed by the opacity. And then we have some random ones. I have lots of metallics. Then we have the Peat Pastels from Faber-Castell. I swatched them on white and I will show you. I swatched them on black too. They're really nice. Then we have my pencil colors, my Polychromos from Faber-Castell, my favorite ones. We have my Iridescent from Tombow. I had volume 4, 5 and 6. Then we have my pencils from Derwent. So these are all normal pencils, no, not watercolor pencils. From Derwent I have 3 ones, and then I have some pro colors. I think these look really nice together, especially for a fall theme. And then extra sheets, once again, extra sheets. Then we have the alcohol markers section because I have alcohol marker. Once again, this is how I divide it because that's what makes the most sense to me. But maybe you would want to have one specific section for acrylic, one specific section for gouache, one specific section for markers. Maybe you have lots of markers, but not alcohol markers, normal markers. It's you, it's how you do, and that's just how it works for me. So we have the Graphite, Winsor & Newton Pro markers and brush markers, some from Mona Lisa, Spectrum Noir, Action, it's European shop I had told you about. Green's Sister again. Then we have some Copic, some Chameleon, and some extra sheets. And I've used layout paper. And last section I made black section. So I have all my Peat Pastels. I have some metallic markers. Oh, they look really bright with the lightning like this. And I have all my poscas, and then more extra paper, and also it's a very thick black paper, not just some random thin one. That's it for this. The backing, and which is nice, I have an elastic to close it. So that's it for my little swatch book. It's kind of a tour, also kind of me explaining what I've put inside, how I made it, and if you have any question, you can leave them down below, and as always, I will answer you as soon as I can. I hope you had a nice week and that you found it interesting. So if you do, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next week. Bye.